What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to Whiskey Taste Buds COVID-19 Friday happy hour. I'm just realizing that light behind my head is still making me look way more angelic than I am, so give me a sec. There's Brandy sitting back relaxing. So yeah, did hear about that fire in Squamish. Have they got it under control yet? Do you know? It was just a brush fire, right? Not a building or anything. Welcome everybody that's joining right now. As I get a little more familiar with this YouTube live thing, I'm thinking that people do have the option to request to join the video chat, and I'd be totally into that. If anybody's interested in, we'll do a little split screen chat if anybody wants to. If not, that's cool too. I can stare at my own face for an hour. John and Jody say hi, Brandy.
Hi.
Yeah, I got a haircut. The sides and the back. I've been growing my hair out for well over a year now, but I kept the sides and the back shaved just because I'm dreading going through that real uglier than ugly stage. So I kind of got to about an inch in length, and I was starting to get a little annoyed with how fuzzy I was looking. So pulled out
take the dog shears to his head.
Yeah, pulled out the dog clippers and let Brandy go at it. Still got a nice little ponytail in the back though. Got a little Viking action going on. My mom and Greg say hello, Brandy, as well.
Hello.
Controlled burn that got out of control. Yeah, 100 hectares. Oof. Crazy. Yeah, with this kind of weather keeps up, might be another bad year for fires. I don't know. So anyway, before I'll tell you guys what my thought process is on what I'm drinking tonight, and then I'll sort of get your guys' take on what you're drinking. So, yeah, I know haircuts are becoming an issue for a lot of people. I think we're gonna see a trend of shaved heads in the next year or so. I've seen a lot of really bad haircuts recently when I've ventured out. So anyway, so yeah, I was sort of humming and hawing about what I was going to be drinking tonight for you guys, and I noticed my collection is starting to dwindle quite a bit, and it's a little concerning. So I was like, well, maybe I should just start at the bottom shelf, which is where all my undesirables go.
Stay away from my gin.
And just sort of try and work my way into something that I can actually enjoy. So the first few whiskeys are whiskeys that I have that I acquired over time doing. Hello, Deborah. Over doing certain tastings and stuff like that aren't necessarily my favorite, but I have them, and so I might as well drink through them. They're not horrible. They're still drinkable, but yeah. So I've been kind of putting off doing a grocery shop. Groceries are getting kind of thin here, so I'm going tomorrow. But the plans that Brandy had for making dinner fell through because we didn't have any vegetables that weren't rotting. So we decided to support local business and do takeout tonight. And so we went to our local Japanese food place just down the road here, and got some Japanese food. So, sorry, my phone's just telling me that I'm live now. Apparently, a little bit late, but that's all right. So the first whiskey I'm enjoying tonight is a Japanese whiskey, and it is a Suntory Toki. There's the bottle. Like I said, not a super fancy whiskey. It's a blend. Hey Ken, How's it going? I think I remember when I was doing a tasting. I did a tasting at the Cascadia Liquor Store, and he wanted me to present all this sort of World of Whiskeys theme, and they were all Beam Suntory whiskeys. So this is a Beam Suntory whiskey. And as I said, it was a blend. Apparently, it's from 3 different Japanese distilleries, all owned by Beam Suntory. One is I think is a single grain. One is, at least one of them is a single malt, and I think one might be a blend as well. Earlier today, I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but yeah, it is a great. So that's exactly what it is. All at 43%. Not a whole lot of character. It's just a really sort of nice, easy drinking, plain Jane whiskey, perfect for cocktails. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what their sort of main goal was, to appeal to bartenders and stuff like that are looking for the trendy Japanese whiskey, but also still makes a good cocktail and it's not expensive. So that's what this is. Yeah, maybe, you know what? I don't even think this one has enough profile to mix with hot chocolate or coffee. It's pretty light and pretty sort of safe, if you will. So, but again, it's in my shelf, and here it goes. I was watching another YouTube live. I think it was YouTube. Anyway, a live chat today between a guy from Tomatin Distillery in Scotland and Andrew Ferguson at Kensington Wine Market. So for those of you that don't know, Andrew Ferguson is the owner and operator of Kensington Wine Market in Calgary, and they're like one of the biggest sort of boutique whiskey shops in Western Canada, probably Canada. John and Jody say bless you. Yeah, it's like I said, straight up easy drinking, good palate cleansing type whiskey, which I wanted to start with. And like I said, I won't do tasting notes on it because there really isn't a lot to say about it aside from that it's not horrible. Yeah. So the discussion between Andrew and I can't remember the fellow's name from Tomatin today. At some point, they were talking about Japanese whiskeys as well. And Andrew touched on a point where he calls a lot of the stuff coming out of Japan lately, he calls Japanese-ish whiskey. And the reason being is a lot of the big companies like Beam Suntory and Nikka and all those places are having a hard time producing enough whiskey because it's so popular. And so they're actually bringing whiskey in from other parts of the world and bottling it in Japan. So the whiskey technically touches Japanese soil, and they call it Japanese whiskey. So it's not, be careful when you're buying Japanese whiskeys. It's not always necessarily a true Japanese whiskey. And having said that, I mean, if you like it, drink it. Doesn't matter where it's made. It was made in a distillery somewhere. And that's what it comes down to. If you like it, drink it. So. Yeah, there's all kinds of there's not a lot of rules in Japan when it comes to making whiskey. So, yeah, they sort of do whatever it takes. Yeah, American bottlers as well. They do the same thing. So that one's done. What's everybody else drinking tonight? I'm about halfway through that one.
Oh my God, he's slamming them.
Yeah, that first pour was a little generous because I kind of want to get through that one. This one won't be as, this one doesn't have it, but you know it's a bad sign when you twist off the cap for the bottle and it's got one of those inserts for the bartenders. This one doesn't have it, but Ben Nevis 22, nice. I killed that one last week, I think, and I miss it. I'd like to get my hands on another one of those at some point. SMWS Linkwood. Ooh. Wow. Is that the name of it, To Die For? Or is that just your opinion that it is To Die For? Because it sounds like it would be. Glendronach and Macallan? Are you guys mixing? Blending? Nice. Very nice. That's the name. Awesome. I would love it. And yeah, if any of you guys want to get into friendship dramples, I am totally into that. Not that like I said, my collection is dwindling. I might have a couple of gems, but I'm more than happy to share the odd dram with you guys in the mail. So who's drinking Macallan and which Macallan, and who's drinking Glendronach and which Glendronach? That's the color of the next whiskey I'm drinking. This one is another Beam Suntory whiskey. And a lot of people are going to cringe when I say it, but it's a Canadian Club. But it's 100% rye by Canadian Club. And again, this was given to me, and I didn't purchase it, but it was given to me by Jeff at Cascadia to have in a tasting that happened the night of the real bad snowstorm that we had back in January, I believe, or February. Can't remember now. And so yeah, so it's on my shelf. The only reason why I wanted to share it with you guys is because I don't know if all of you know or not, but most Canadian rye whiskeys don't have a whole lot of rye in them. Most of them are corn-based whiskeys, and then they add, or corn or wheat, and then they add rye just for that spicy flavoring, and very little of it. Another country that doesn't have a whole lot of rules when it comes to making whiskey. So this is Canadian Club 100% rye. And it's bottled at 40% ABV. No surprise there. But for a rye whiskey, it's actually quite nice. If you like those rye spices. I'm not a huge fan of it, but some people do. Ken, I think you'd probably like this one. I don't know if I've poured this one for you before or not, Ken.
It's been a long time since you poured him anything.
But yeah, it's been a while. So you notice I didn't pour a whole lot in there because I'm not a huge rye fan. I think I actually quite like the flavor of it. I do like the spiciness of rye. But I think it would be so much better even at like 46% ABV. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, Ken's a rye drinker, but he doesn't drink Canadian Club. He's typically a 40 Creek drinker, I think. But I think a lot of those 40 Creek ryes aren't actually rye. So
yeah, you went from Crown to Wisers to 40 Creek.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Canadian Club, as soon as I saw it, I was like, because even when I was a kid, like whatever, young adult, if you will, drinking rye and Coke at a nightclub, I still didn't like Canadian Club, even if I was mixing it with Coke. But this 100% rye is not bad. It's a lot better than the regular Canadian Club, that's for sure. Anything is. I don't even know if I would use it to clean my tractor if I had a tractor.
Oh my goodness.
Picked up a Glendronach 18 from Thrifty's liquor store. Oh, wow. Not sure if they still have it. Ooh, lot 40 Sazerac. Nice. For Christmas, I picked up Ken. Ken is my father-in-law. I picked him up a Cash Strength Lot 40. So it was part of the BC Spirits release. And that's quite nice. You're talking about the Glendronach 18? Pick one up for you? I actually quite like the 18. I really enjoyed that 21 Parliament that we had at the locals dinner pairing. That was really good. I've always been a big fan of the Glendronach 12-year-old, even though I haven't seen it in a very long time up here. Yeah, I can pick you up one of those 18s next time I'm out. For sure. And I'll keep it with your Octomore 10.4 until the next time we get a chance to see each other. So, what else is everybody drinking tonight? They might have the 12? Oh, okay, I'm interested. That is a fantastic whiskey. I love the 12. This one's at least got a cork. It's not a screw top. So we're moving up the shelf now. This is another Beam Suntory whiskey. But this one is from Ireland. And this is a peated Irish whiskey, Connemara. Here's the bottle. Made at Cooley Distillery. Bottled at 40% ABV. About half a bottle right now. The only that I'm aware of, the only Irish peated whiskey. And it's actually double distilled. So it's more like the typical Scottish single malt, as opposed to an Irish whiskey that's usually triple distilled with a column still. It's not a bad whiskey. Again, would love to taste it at 43 or 46%. Got a bit of barnyard in there. Some fruitiness. Some candy sweetness. Can you show what again? The Connemara? Oh. But, whiskey with an E. But like I said, it is double distilled. That's Brandy falling asleep because I'm talking about whiskey in the background. Definitely getting lots of hay and barnyard on the nose.
That's gross. No.
But in a good way. In a good way.
Sorry. Tasting barnyard in a good way. I don't get it.
Brandy doesn't get it.
Nope.
She's hijacking my live stream. So it's not bad. It's not a horrible whiskey. But again, there's so many other good peated whiskeys out there. Unless it's like St. Paddy's Day and you want something special for Irish whiskey, why would you go buy an Irish peated whiskey? Hockey pucks. Yeah. No, I'm not getting hockey pucks on this one. Yeah, definitely. That fresh barnyard smell. I like it. I don't know. That is very descriptive. You should actually get her opinion on whiskeys, because I find the ones that come up with descriptors like that are usually pretty good at doing tasting notes. My wife thinks, so Kevin said, my wife thinks whiskey tastes like forest fire puddle water.
That's pretty darn good.
That's
I like
awesome.
that.
Have you guys had the Glendronach 8-year-old whiskey? That one's good. I like that one too. So I think I like young whiskeys. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like old whiskeys too. Don't get me wrong, but I think I just like whiskey.
You're a whiskey slut.
Whiskey whore. Certainly feel that way after the last few whiskeys I just had with you guys. I need something to get those ones out of my mouth with.
Oh my God, you're slamming them.
I'm not pouring full ones, dear.
Jeez, Murphy.
Giving me heck in the background here. She's supposed to be at work, but she wasn't feeling too great yesterday. And she works in healthcare, so she didn't want to risk it. So she called in sick. So she's been home just to play it safe, be on the safe side. But I'm thinking it might just be allergies, even though she doesn't think she has them. But the pollen's really bad right now. So
The joyous thing is they stick a thing up your nose if you even have.
yeah, protocol when you call in sick at a long-term care home right now. If you work at one and you call in sick, protocol is you have to go get tested for COVID. So Brandy had to go do that today. And it's not pleasant. They stick long Q-tip up your nose.
And scratch your brain for 10 seconds.
Leave it in there for 10 minutes, swirling it around. And it's not
10 minutes,
10 seconds. Sorry, not 10 minutes.
10 hours.
Yeah.
Minutes.
So I don't know if there's any folks from Oyster River online right now, but I'm going to take a few steps up in the world and pour myself a bottle of... Do you mind?
I wasn't even looking.
Pour myself a bottle of Shelter Point Double Barrel.
I wasn't even looking.
With unofficial ingredients of sunsets and sea air. This is batch number 4, bottled at 50% ABV. Hello, Lydia. Yeah,
Hi,
I guess she's all right. She says, "Hi, Brandy, we love you. Sounds like Egyptian torture COVID testing."
It's horrible.
Pretty much. Might have been somewhat of a lobotomy. I don't know. Maybe they're starting the mummification thing or something. I don't know. COVID results should be, they said, 24 to 48 hours. And I think that will probably be the case. We'll probably find out tomorrow, I'm guessing, because she's in healthcare. They want her back to work as soon as possible. So they're going to probably put a heck of a rush stamp on it. I am 99.99999% sure she does not have COVID-19. But like I said, it was protocol to get tested, and so that's good news. I think they should be testing everybody that works in those care homes, whether they're showing signs of a cold or symptom or anything. They should just be testing everybody. But that's my opinion. Seems to be where a majority of the problems are manifesting. So yes, this is batch number 4, double barrel. Leon, Lydia, how's Leon enjoying his motorbike? Bought himself a new old motorcycle for the farm. Well, actually, probably once you get back to work, it'll be his commuting vehicle too, right? Brandy, as far as I know, is not drinking anything yet.
Nope.
Hello, Megan. Yes, Megan got tested for COVID last week too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she said it was terrible.
Yes.
I wonder what it would do for your ability to nose whiskey, though, if you like shove some Q-tips up there and just kind of did a little
No. Just no.
Roto-Rooter in there.
No. It still hurts. Like I can still feel it.
Oh,
Scratchy.
loves his new motorcycle. That's cool. Nice. So this double barrel, hello, it's delicious. I miss that. I don't drink Shelter Point enough, and I have tons of it on my shelf. Tune in for you guys that are interested and love Shelter Point as much as I do. Tune into the Dram Association YouTube channel on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. I think. Adam Bradshaw is going to be going through his entire collection of Shelter Point. It should be kind of interesting to see if he can get through it all, because he's got a lot. I think he's even got more bottles than I do. Jake's been playing around on the bike too. Nice. Oh, I can't wait to come out and see you guys. It'd be fun. So yeah, tune into that Dram Association YouTube channel for a live Shelter Point-a-thon. We'll call it that. Yeah, should be fun. I might do something like that sometime down the road too. Just do like a power tasting when you guys can we'll do like a fundraiser for charity, and every time someone donates money, I'll like drink a dram and just see how messy I get. Live on
birthday messy?
Live on YouTube. It should be fun. That's actually not a bad idea. I think that could be fun.
Not for the person that has to clean you up.
I don't know if they have their Class 6 or not, but don't need it on the farm. Yeah, that's right. Jody's got a nice Harley sitting in her garage. But you can't ride it anymore, right? Oh, there you go. I like that. Do a fundraiser for go fund me for our next tropical vacation once this is all over. So the double barrel. This is the one that's been finished for 152 days in Quails Gate Old Vines Foch cask, and it's got beautiful wine flavors. And of course, in the background and on the finish is that classic Shelter Point maltiness, which I love. But I gotta say, it's not as good as the first double barrel. But that's just my opinion. The first one, I think it was the first one, was finished in the Coastal Blackberry wine casks, I think. And that was out of this world. I think this one is single grain as well, isn't it? Or is it a blend of single grain and single malt? Maybe it's a blend. Nice. Yeah, the Pinot Noir cask is fantastic. Fantastic? Fantastic. It's good. The unopened ones I have is Smoke Point, which has been
Yummy!
calling to me recently. I really want to revisit that Smoke Point and taste it again.
I want to revisit it.
And then I've got
That's my favorite.
the single cask Virgin Oak, which is unopened. Has also been calling to me because I friggin' love the Shelter Point single cask. But I think this is one that's worth saving, even though I'm not much of a collector and saver. Smoke Point is so good, I agree.
It's my favorite.
And then, oh, look at that. Got another double barrel I haven't opened.
Why'd you go and have to look?
That's the French Oak cask. So I think that was the third batch or third double barrel. Oh, yeah. Echoes of the Hebrides is great. Now, Kevin, did he mail that to you? Is Adam Bradshaw mailing whiskey to people? Because I would love it if he could. But last I heard, he's not mailing anything. Ooh, yeah, that's a tough call. I think I like the Smoke Point better than the Echoes of the Hebrides, but that's my opinion. Oh, at the Whiskey Festival. Okay, yeah. As far as I know, I don't think Adam's mailing anything right now, which sucks because he's got a whole bunch of whiskeys that I'd love. But in a way, it's probably good because I can't afford them. So there's that. And then this is the real gem of my Shelter Point collection that I suppose I will open someday, but
Don't touch it.
this is the 100% unmalted Avant-Garde whiskey. And this one was the the Strathcona special bottling, matured in ex-blackberry wine barrels. And if you haven't had this one and you ever get a chance to, I don't know if I'm going to open it because it's simply amazing. It's like a blackberry. It's like a blackberry cheesecake. It's so good. So those are my unopened Shelter Points. And so far, I've been able to. So far, I've been able to refrain from opening them. But I'm getting weaker, I think. Yeah, unfortunately, their trip to Scotland has been cancelled or postponed. Yeah, I think maybe when some of the restrictions are loosened a little bit, I might make a trip down to Victoria. But got to do our part right now and hold the line. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to go to Alaska or not, are you? Maybe we'll be able to all gather for Greg's 70th birthday after all. Kevin, is this the one that you said you had? Single cask Quails Gate?
Hey, sweetie.
I think all the distilleries in Scotland are still closed anyway, but I mean, by September, who knows? But I think they're starting to feel it too. They got like every interview I watch from distilleries over there. They've got all these amazing whiskeys that they are looking forward to releasing this year. And COVID has just like screwed everything up royally. So hopefully that doesn't affect things too much next year. Oh, you mean okay? You have the double barrel one. Okay, so this is the single cask Quails Gate Foch Reserve, and there's not a ton left in the bottle, as you can see. Another one that you drink and you find that it tastes like another. Oh my gosh, are you serious? You're gonna buy a place on the Isle of Harris? That would be awesome. By the way, you guys, I don't know if you saw it. I think I shared it on social media, or at least Facebook today. But the Festival festival that happens at the end of May obviously isn't happening this year, but they're doing an online festival, and it sounds like it's going to be awesome. So check it out. It could be a lot of fun to take part in some of the festivities online for the Festival festival. Batch number on your double barrel. Well, then it's probably so the Quails Gate was batch number 4 for the double barrel. I know. Yeah. I mean, I was talking to on Tuesday. I was talking to the rep for Craftworks Spirits in Alberta. It's a spirit company that they deal with Douglas Lang and that Dutch whiskey and a couple other real weird ones in France and whatnot. I was talking with him, and he doesn't even know when or where is going to, as far as the Big Pete for the Festival, he doesn't know if that's even going to touch down in time. They're hoping to get a couple cases before the festival, but probably not. It's going to be after. I know. Yeah, there's so many awesome whiskeys that come out around that time. But they're just pleading with people, do not come to Isla. Please stay away. Yeah, Whiskey Bry. Could do some, like an Ardbeg vertical. That'd be fun.
Yeah. That was the coolest thing ever.
Whiskey Bry. So Brian is the is he North American or just Canadian rep? I think he's Canadian rep for Ardbeg. And he's an awesome dude, and I'd love to get him on one of these live sessions to chat with him, or like just let him take over and talk about whiskey for hours. He's so knowledgeable.
I also like to just hear him talk.
Yeah, and he's got a kind of a goofy Scottish accent.
He is not goofy. It's the best thing ever. The only thing you're missing.
But yeah, Whiskey Bry would be great, and Mike Brisebois, the Whiskey Explorer from Distill. I'd love to get him on here too. Talk about Buna and Deanston and Tobermory and Lecheg. So that would be cool too. No, it's not goofy. I'm just teasing.
Come on, ladies.
Lefroy 30, yeah. Yeah, that guy kind of sold us a bag, didn't he? Well, yeah, maybe I can try and contact that guy online or something. He probably won't even remember anymore. Yeah, Mike is great. Oh my God, I'm so spoiled to live so close to you guys at Shelter Point here. And this is Lydia, do you know if they have any plans of any new releases coming soon? I know they're like heavy into sanitizer land, but they have to have had plans of stuff coming. And like the whiskey's not going to wait. Once it's ready, right? I know, a slab of fudge. I know. I have to figure out what the guy's name was. Does anybody know who the rep? I think he's a BC rep for Laphroaig, which I guess would be Beam Suntory. Oh, I'll find out. Yeah, he promised my mom a dram of Laphroaig 30, but we never made it up to the right room that night, so she didn't get it. And he got a good chunk of my mom's whiskey fudge. Oh, you have his card. Oh, that's good. Oh, we'll reach out to him. Say, hey, about that Laphroaig 30. Honestly, though, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I've had Laphroaig that old, but I think peated whiskeys are better young anyway. Or different, I guess, depending on which kind of barrel it sits in. It would be very different.
I know.
Yeah.
Bag scratch. I miss helping you all.
Oh, you were gonna collect when you were on Isla. Oh well, yeah, that might have been possible too, but you probably wouldn't be talking to the same guy. But oh, interesting, a wheat whiskey coming down the pipe. Now, the interesting thing about Shelter Point and their experimental casks, if you will, or experimental whiskeys, if you will. In Cedar, no. Wheat Chief, no.
Mackenzie, I'm coming down. You're gonna have to share a TV.
The interesting thing about it is, I believe it is. Well, I'm guessing it's probably going to be 100% wheat, and it's probably malted wheat. Which is very, I don't know if it's ever been done. If never, then very rare. I think most wheat whiskeys are probably unmalted wheat whiskeys.
Wheat whiskey.
Oh, I see. The Wheat Chief is a name of a place in Cedar near the Crowan Gate. A pub in Cedar, that's right. 100% malted wheat. That sounds cool. I can't wait to try that. Now, that's going to be probably a super light whiskey, even at a higher strength, I would think. But it'll be very interesting. What kind of casks are those going to be matured in, and for how long? Single malt wheat. Yeah. Well, Kevin, if you can't come over here to get it at some point, I'll make sure I get my hands on some and get it to you. If anything, I'm good for getting my hands on Shelter Point stuff. Yes, I do have some of the Last Mountain wheat whiskey. In fact, maybe I'll pour some of that next. But I don't think it says anything on the bottle about whether it's malted or unmalted. So that's a little half bottle of wheat whiskey, 100% wheat whiskey from Saskatchewan, from a distillery called Last Mountain. And they actually won a gold medal in the 2019 Canadian Whiskey Awards for this whiskey. or at least they got their hands on some stickers of it anyway. But no, just kidding. It's actually really good. Quite an interesting whiskey. It's one of 2 little bottles of whiskey from Saskatchewan I have. The other one is a small batch single malt barley single malt. But this is 100% whiskey. So I'm getting from Mima that it is not malted. But you can, believe it or not, you can malt wheat and you can malt rye. And I think Leon even teased about trying something with oats, which could be interesting. But so the whiskey that they're going to be releasing in the next few months, by the sounds of it, according to Lydia, is going to be a 100% malted wheat whiskey, which is exciting. Like I said, it might be a first. I don't know if anybody has ever done that before. Yeah, they're they're into doing all kinds of crazy stuff on Shelter Point. They've given their distillers sort of free run and been like, let's do it. Oh, okay. John's here now, everybody. So now we can start. That's good. We've just been sitting here for the last 46 minutes waiting for you, man. Finally, you can have a dram. Okay. So there's an English whiskey company that has oat whiskey. Interesting. John, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I started without you, buddy. But you know, the first few were just sort of palate cleansers anyway. Had to get through some of the bottom shelf whiskeys that I have. Now I'm on to my BC craft shelf, or pardon me, Canadian craft shelf, because this is a Saskatchewan whiskey. It's a single cask, 100% unmalted wheat whiskey from Last Mountain Distillery in Saskatchewan. Ooh, new Laphroaig. Tell me more. Is it a 10-year-old, quarter cask, 3 wood, or something even more special? Absolutely. Oat whiskey with porridge. Sounds amazing. Maybe you should finish those in stout barrels. Get some oatmeal stout barrels from a brewery. That'd be good. Just the 10. Don't just say just the 10, man. That is like one of the classic must-haves is a Laphroaig 10. It's delicious. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Exactly, yeah. In fact, I think I might have to join you once I finish this wheat whiskey, which is really quite nice. It's very sweet, but it's very light. Triple distilled, probably column still. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Not quite as spicy as a rye, but not as malty as a barley. My mom just saw you. She saw you, Brandy. Well, a quarter cask is fantastic too, but 10 is great. There's no going wrong with it. With a Laphroaig 10. There's another whole line. What is the Laphroaigs that you guys love, John and Jody? I always mispronounce it. Cardias. If you ever see any of those, just don't look at the price. Just buy one. I know she's photobombing. She was hiding behind me, and every time I moved or shifted, she'd be like, "Damn it!" Yes, cast strength 10 would be out of this world. Have you had it? I haven't had it.
Your phone is going.
Car chase. Okay. Lefroy car chase.
There you go.
They're saying you should co-host, Brandy. I don't know. I don't think she'd be a very good co-host. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Stop it. Social distancing, COVID. What a pest. Okay, Lefroy 10.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Another Beam Suntory whiskey. Guess there's a bit of a theme tonight. Well, there was. Till I got into the BC craft distilleries. So how many whiskeys is that now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Lot.
7 whiskeys so far in 51 minutes. We're doing good.
Slam.
Oh, hello. Best thing about this Lefroy 10 was also free, which makes whiskey taste better, by the way. Mental note. Public service announcement.
Can I open a window? It's hot in here.
Yes, please do. Yeah, you like the ponytail? Growing my hair? Got the Viking look going on? Been working out lots, feeling all COVID pumped.
I've been wearing the same jogging pants for the last week.
You still nursing the link? Well, if I was drinking a 35-year-old SMWS, I'd be nursing it too.
Bullshit.
Did you guys hear that? Looking very Outlander. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Jamie Fraser. Or is there a different Outlander that I don't know about?
Yeah, that's the only one.
Oh, Eau Claire. Nice.
Oh no!
It's funny. I was talking to, let's say, a guy by the name of Peter Burns, and he's the rep for Craftworks in Alberta. And we talked a little bit about Eau Claire, and he loves the single malt they do. He really does, but he says he doesn't really care for a lot of the other stuff they do. So, nope, no man bun. I won't do that. The girls love to play with my hair, but
I braided it. I give him a French braid. It looks good. No, don't do that.
she's sitting right beside me, but she doesn't want to be on camera. She just wants to be the peanut gallery. No, I won't do a man bun. That's not my thing. It's not my jam.
Yeah.
Eventually my hair will be long enough that I can grow out the sides and the back. And Brandy's gonna braid it now. Give me a Viking braid.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. This is it. This is like, not only is this
Live action.
live whiskey happy hour,
Yeah.
it's also hairdressing 101. Turner Valley, yeah.
Smells good.
That's Lefroy.
Smells good.
This was the hook. This was my hook. This whiskey was my hook. This is what got me into single malts. Lefroy 10-year-old.
Didn't I get you that one for anniversary?
No, I was down in Victoria. We lived down in Sydney at the time.
Okay.
I mean, I've had single malts before that, but I was down in Victoria, and I went to a VIP function for the Victoria Highland Games, at the Bay Street Armory. And at the time, I don't know if they still do or not, but they had one of the best single malt selections in Western Canada, at least.
You're too
And
hot.
oh, okay. I'm not getting a Viking braid for you guys right now. She gave up. And I got introduced to this fellow who was part of the whiskey scene in Victoria at the time. I think he's passed on since, unfortunately, but his name was Nigel. And I just kind of told him that I'm sort of novice at whiskey. What do you recommend? And I think kind of half as a joke, he was like, Laphroaig. Definitely got to try Laphroaig. So I'm like, sure, yeah, what the hell, let's try it. And I think he was thinking I was gonna like spit it out or choke or just like hate it. Actually fell in love with it. So you hear about a lot of people starting out in the whiskey journey with the real light, fruity, easy drinking Lowlands and the Space Ciders and stuff like that. Nope, I dove in the deep end head first without looking, and here I am. That's right, Lydia. Yours was Talisker 10.
Wendy's a Talisker Storm.
My mom's was the Talisker Storm. My brother's was Lagavulin 16, which I've heard from a lot of people in the industry was their hook as well. And I totally understand that. Is a fantastically for a heavily peated whiskey, it's fantastically easy drinking and very complex. Did who take a hit in the liquor board raids? Oh, Bay Street Armory? No, I don't think so. It was, I think it was the Union Club was the one down in Victoria that got hit with the SMWS seizures and stuff like that. You know, they took about $40,000 worth of whiskey, I think, or something like that. Yeah, Lagavulin 16. I'm hearing that a lot these days. Yes, indeed. Balls deep. Into peat, salt, smoke, and brine. Yeah, my brother's got a good story about Lagavulin 16 and a yellow tuxedo. Bowmore was your hook? Nice. Then Finlagan, which is Kalila. Yeah, so Kalila is so interesting to me. It's such a good whiskey. It amazes me how many independent bottlings and like how much Kalila goes elsewhere besides of just into their own whiskey. I'd love to see just more Kalila on the shelves, to be honest. But I think it's great because it makes beautiful Islay whiskey readily available for a lot of people. So don't get me wrong, I love the blends, but it seems like everything that's like a mystery Islay whiskey definitely has Kalila in it. Not everything, but mostly. Yeah, only the bars that stocked SMWS. So it was Fett's Whiskey Kitchen in Vancouver. I believe it was the Union Club in Victoria. And then the one, can't remember the name of it, in Nanaimo. That's another one you guys should check out. A guy by the name of Sean Sewell, who I've heard is possibly responsible for those whiskey raids. Don't quote me on that. But he has his sort of social media thing is called BC Spirits, And he just did, I think it was this morning, he did a interview with the fellow from Okanagan Spirits. His name escapes me right now. Tyler, I think, from Okanagan Spirits. And I sat there this morning having my coffee listening to him, and he is super well spoken. He's on like the craft spirits council or whatever it is in BC. Very well spoken, and he had a lot of great stuff and a lot of great information to talk about BC spirits and BC distilleries and how badly they're getting screwed over by the BC government. And all they want is to be treated the same way that the wine industry is treated in BC. That's it. They're capped at 50,000 liters. And if they make 51,000 liters, it costs them another $200,000+ in taxes. And so everybody is capping themselves to save money. It's anti-growth. And all it is just pure discrimination. And I think honestly, all it is people like the Attorney General just not taking the time to look at things that are presented to them, because I think all they would have to do is sit down and have a good long look at things, and it would make sense. And they would just say, yeah, let's do it. And then BC craft distillers would be treated just like the BC wine industry, in my opinion. But anyway, check that out. If BC Spirits did a great interview with him at Okanagan Spirits. Thanks for joining, Kevin. Enjoy your dinner. Yeah, so it's all about growing pains. Mostly to do with old, archaic laws, or just laws that are just not in place for a new industry. Okanagan Spirits was sort of like one of the first ones back in like 2003 in BC, and then it's just sort of blown up from there. But there's like there's so much growth opportunity for these distilleries to produce more and sell more and be more successful and grow the industry in the province, create more jobs, and they can't. This Laphroaig is wonderful, by the way. Another solid go-to. I'm missing a lot of my solid go-tos right now. Like, usually have like an Ardbeg 10 on my shelf and all kinds of wonderful whiskeys, and it's all on hold right now. Shoot, John, what's your question? You want to join in? We can do like a split screen if anybody wants to see their face on camera. Yeah, that's Cleo saying hello, probably bugging for food or something. My whiskey cat. Yes, Westland, delicious. I think they're getting Westland's getting a lot of recognition down in the States because they're standing out from the crowd instead of just going with full bourbon like everybody else. They're breaking ground, and I think you're going to start seeing a lot more single malts coming out of the States too, which is kind of exciting. Kevin mentioned the BC Spirit release thing. I looked through the 2018 brochure and was reminded about the really high price limited releases. Yeah, the BC Spirits release is, I mean, it's something that we here in BC cling to because it's one of the rare opportunities where we actually might get to see something different for a change. But the BC liquor stores and the BC government take that opportunity to rape us, if you will, when it comes to the prices. So be careful what you're buying. Be smart. There's other ways of getting whiskey, and if you want to know more about that, just private message me or personal message me, and we'll talk. But I would love to just say just like the best thing you can do is buy local and support local. Yeah, exactly. BC is just getting screwed royally when it comes to whiskey. And there's no real excuse for it except just like government greed and wanting a monopoly. But yeah, like I said, if you can, even if it costs a little bit more, buy from a local beer and wine store, liquor store, private liquor stores. Support that, and hopefully things eventually will change. And if you really feel passionate about it, talk to your local members of parliament and start raising the issue. Because right now, I think they're just hearing from one person, and that person is the Liquor Control Board, and they're saying everything's hunky dory, but it's not. The hard part is comparing ourselves to our neighbors in Alberta too, which is like the exact extreme opposite end of the spectrum, because they went 100% privatized. So the government isn't involved in they don't have liquor stores. The government, aside from collecting tax at point of sale, government is not involved with liquor at all, which changes a lot of things. And yeah, because of that, we pay, if you can even get it, we pay on average $40 more a bottle. Yeah, sorry, I'm just sort of catching up with the messages here. You can buy cast strength from a live cast studies and skull. Yeah, for less than $100. Oh. Yeah, so even those BC Spirit releases, when you see them in the fancy magazines they send out and stuff like that, or online, there's not that many available. And like most of them, you have to go to like the Cambie store down in Vancouver to get. I can count probably at least 4 or 5 whiskeys that I know of that were supposed to be in the spirits release that we never saw ever, which is total BS. I know some guys that just refuse to shop and pay and buy at government liquor stores because they're totally against the way things are going, or the way things are here in BC. The worst part about it is hearing from people that come back from Scotland or the UK and tell us about how cheap things are there. It's just like, ah! $1,000 plus bottles. They are very limited. Is that what you're asking, John? Hey, Leon. Finish playing around your motorcycle. Yeah, well, I mean, there's some whiskeys out there. I think trying to remember which brand it is now, but there's a series of ones, the Constellation series, you can get at the Cambie Street Liquor Store, and they're like $40,000 each. And there's like 3 or 4 different ones. Distilling, yeah, sure you were. Playing around on your motorcycle. You're worrying about the product in those expensive bottles. Is it worth the money here? Yeah. Good question. Short answer, no, it's not worth it. But long answer, if you're a collector, once you get over a certain price range, you're paying more for the rarity of it, not the quality. Especially when you get into those really old whiskeys. 60, 70-year-old whiskeys arguably probably are not even at 40% ABV anymore. So technically probably wouldn't even be able to be considered whiskey by a Scottish law or by whiskey laws. But who's going to open it to find out? Because it's an investment. And if you're into investing and reselling whiskeys and stuff like that, then yeah, if you can find good deals to resell, that's great. But all that does is drive up the price for everybody else. I think I used to be quite frugal. And so I used to say anything over, what did I say? I think I used to say anything over $200 was too expensive for a single malt whiskey. Now I'd probably bump that up to like $500, $300 to $500. Anything more than $300 to $500, unless you're collecting to put on your shelf and maybe sell someday or add to the value of your collection, probably not worth it. I do like the opportunities to go to these little whiskey festivals and stuff like that, where you can get a chance to try some of these amazing whiskeys that are super expensive, and it is a treat. But yeah, exactly. So Lydia said she's tried a 48-year-old SMWS bottling, and it tastes like pine sol, church pews, and wax. I mean, which I've actually had those sort of tasting notes in some whiskeys that I quite enjoyed. But if that's all it tastes like, then that's not very good. Oh, battery's dying. Okay, well, thanks for joining us, Mom and Greg. Always lovely to have you on. So, John, does that sort of address what you were inquiring about? Was sort of the gist? Whether you thought those $1,000 bottles were worth purchasing? Again, yeah, to me that's 100% my opinion, and that just seems to be my threshold. Like, not that I've ever spent $500 on a bottle, but I have spent $300 or around there. But to me, that's like, yeah, anything more than that, and in my opinion. But like I said, there's some special unicorns out there that are worth having. But I still think you should open them and drink them. I think a distiller doesn't make whiskey so that people put it on the shelf and never open it. Yeah, exactly. It's too risky. I mean, like I said, unless you get a chance to sample something ahead of time, even a $300 bottle, I'd have a hard time spending that kind of money unless I had a chance to try it. Exactly. There's so many good whiskeys at lower prices. Don't need to buy those expensive ones, says Leon, the distiller. And like I said, I think, as Leon can attest, I think I've heard him say this before. He said he doesn't make whiskey so that people will hoard it and put it on kick my table here. Will hoard it and put it on the shelf and never open it. He wants people to drink his whiskey and enjoy it and love it. Exactly, right? Yeah, you buy a collector car and same thing. Never drive it. So open your bottles. Enjoy them. But yeah, like I was saying, even a whiskey that's like a $300 bottle of whiskey, I don't think I would just on a whim buy it, even if it was from a trusted distillery. I think if I had a chance to try it and fell in love with it and felt an attachment to it, then I might purchase it. But just to buy it, just to put it in, to leave it and show it in its fancy case, I don't think so. And that might change down the road if my financial situation changes and I have a little more money to throw around frivolously, then maybe that number will go up. But I think I'll always open my whiskeys. I like the idea of being able to have a bunch of unopened bottles on my shelf, but the reality of it is I like whiskey too much. So I got to open them. Some of them are, you hang on to for as long as you can, try and save for a special occasion or something like that, but drink it. Speaking of, my glass is empty. For those of you who just joined, I'm about an hour and 16 minutes in. About to pour my 8th dram. What should I pour? Oh, I just opened this one for the whiskey review I did on Wednesday, and forgot how much I loved it. So I'm gonna go back to it. Bunnahabhain 12-year-old. It's really funny too because I did this video review comparison between this one and a Douglas Lang old malt cask Bunnahabhain 12-year-old, which were two completely different whiskeys. This one's a mix of bourbon and sherry and casks, and the single malt Douglas Lang expression was 100% ex-bourbon. But what was funny was when I released it this whole week, it seems like all the bloggers are releasing videos and blogs about Bunnahabhain for some reason. So I don't know, maybe it's just a Bunnahabhain type week. But there's the Bunna 12. Interesting. Don't buy independent bottlers, buy the branded Macallans, etc. But only if they are super rare, which is hard to come by these days with all the airport exclusives. How so? Why would you not buy independent bottlers? Or am I misunderstanding that? Oh, Bunna. Mama, I don't know if you're still on here, but if you do go to Islay, it sounds like Bunnahabhain Distillery is a must-go-to distillery to visit. Oh, I love this nose. Oh, for collectors, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Independent bottlings or even exclusive bottlings. Like there was a Macallan 23-year-old or something like that for the Jack's Liquor Store here on Vancouver Island or in BC. That was way cheaper than a 23-year-old Macallan would normally be. So yeah, for collectors, all distilleries on Islay must go. Yes, I agree. Could spend a little bit of time there for sure. That's right. Okay, so now I get your drift. Yes, so independent bottlers don't hold the same value on the resale market. Some do. It's like, well, no, even then. I think that's the only way some people can afford to try some of these really old whiskeys. And that's kind of exciting, too, because a lot of the a lot of the older whiskeys at these distilleries have been used up already or close to being used up. And then the independent bottlers are the only ones that still have casks of some of this old stuff, which is kind of exciting. So it really gives you a good opportunity for the whiskey geek to get into some really older whiskeys, single cask whiskeys, and somewhat affordably, and enjoy them. Oh yeah, you're killing me. 2021, I don't know. Right now, who knows where we're going to be in 2021. If Kiwi is dead by then. Harsh. The cat's probably going to outlive all of us. Mine too, Cleo. She's probably going to outlive me. So did everybody enjoy my little happy hour? So it's actually almost an hour and a half now. Yeah, no, we don't want to wish ill on poor kitty cats. I had a good time. Just so everybody knows, I'm sold out for the virtual tasting next Friday. So I probably won't be on YouTube Live next Friday, but I might try and do something like Thursday or maybe a follow-up on Saturday night or something like that. But we're doing our virtual tasting, which I'm pretty excited about. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you guys enjoy it, let me know. I'd like some feedback because I'm already thinking about doing the next one, probably the beginning of June sometime. And it's going to have probably a fishy-o theme to it. Obviously, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. But let me know what you guys think. And it's tough to kind of keep the costs down with shipping and everything, but if you're willing to, maybe every other month, I think might be doable for most people, then we'll look at doing something like that. And then, of course, we have this where you guys just get to sit and watch me drink all my whiskey, which I'm okay with too. Again, I'd be into like that fundraiser where every time someone donates some money for charity, I drink a dram or slam it. It might get messy, but it'd be for a good cause. So as like tonight, like I said, it's been almost an hour and a half, and I've gone through 8 whiskeys, so still feeling all right. I haven't stood up yet, but feel free to mail you smoked meat. Yeah, I'm totally open to free smoked meat. If anyone wants to mail me some smoked meat too. Yeah. I hope the Banff Whiskey Festival still happens, but we'll see. We'll see. There's going to be some amazing smoked meats there. I don't even know if I have. Oh yeah, I've got some lame sandwich meat, salamis and stuff like that. You want those? Maybe a little bit past its due date, but I can send it in the mail if you want. Okay, whiskey food pairings. All right. Oh, with the next tasting. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that might be something that we could work into. That could, yeah, I don't know. Sending food could and break even more or be in the gray area of even more whiskey laws or food laws. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, the curve is pretty much, as long as people stay smart, I think you can see we could see another spike if people go stupid. I think it's a great idea, John. I'm all for, like I said, feedback, trying to make these things even better, or at least the tasting is better. It's just a matter, like especially for those virtual tastings, it's just a matter of trying to keep the costs down. It's really hard, especially when you have so many friends that are like whiskey collectors and whiskey enthusiasts. You want at least one whiskey that's sort of a unicorn or something real special. So that sort of bites into the budget a little bit or quite a bit. And if you want to keep adding to it, then, you know, I'd be okay with doing the odd one where it was sort of like a real special tasting that costs a bit more. But I assure you, I'm not getting rich doing it, but it's fun. So I'm all for it. Oh, a list. Maybe I should get my head out of my arse. So just a list of smoked meats to go out and buy. Or list of food. I like it. Or just maybe recommendations for the blind tasting, the blind whiskeys. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Hook up with Jay, Jabin, Postal, and Courtney. We could all drink 4 bottles each. I like your style, Leon. I'm so sad that you guys aren't going to be at this one next Friday, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But like I said, we're going to do it again. So yeah, I like it. Okay. Duly noted. Food pairing suggestions that you should go out and purchase or get delivered in this time of social distancing to pair with each dram. The only thing, being a blind tasting, I wouldn't want to give any hints as to what the whiskeys might be according to the food that I would be recommending pairing with each whiskey. So I might say go out and buy this, and this, and then as we try the whiskey, I'll be like, okay, now this one you want to pull out the piece of bacon. Yeah, I think that could work. Sorry, I'm just working through this as we're talking. Enjoying my Bunnahabhain 12-year-old. Candied bacon. You know, I have actually talked about doing an all Islay whiskey tasting with all bacon pairings, and just get a bunch of different like artisanal bacons, all these different bacons, and just like nothing but bacon and Islay whiskeys. Yeah, ham's good too. That pairing I had at Easter dinner was out of this world. It was I made a ham, beautiful smoked ham for dinner. I paired it with Springbank Longrow. It was superb. If I ever want to get Leon excited, all I gotta do is say bacon. Lots of good ideas. More of that feedback would be great. Ways we can make it even more fun. Bacon chocolate. Yeah. Oh, yes. For sure. Anyway, guys, we're at about an hour and a half now, so I'm probably going to sign off. But thank you all to joining me. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I hope you had a few drams with me. So just me by myself. I'm going to pour one last bit of whiskey in my glass so I can raise one. for those of you that have signed up for next Friday, I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see you then. And I'll probably have another Whiskey Wednesday post in the meantime. So cheers to everybody. Salam Java. Enjoy your weekend. Two fingers. 3. I can't count. 4 fingers. 2 fingers this way. Have a good night, you guys. Take care. Stay safe. Stay home.